come in, sir?
Oh.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Sakshi, have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
So, Sakshi, you're from Bhabua, Bihar,
Yes, sir.
and you have pole science and international relations.
Yes, sir.
And then, of course, you're fond of Hindustani classical vocal music.
Yes, sir.
And meditation also. And electrical and electronics engineering is the bachelor degree which you have.
Yes.
Okay, so let me first of all ask you, recently it was in the news that passenger trains were cancelled to make way for coal rakes
Yes, sir.
in view of the power shortage.
Yes, sir.
Do you think it was a right step to cancel the passenger trains? The passenger trains carry the poorest sections of the society.
Yes, sir.
And it stops at almost every station. It carries a huge amount of passenger load. Do you think it was right that passenger trains be cancelled? What will be the alternate mode available? If the other trains were cancelled like mail or express, those people who go through those trains with the help of, they will have an alternate way also. They can travel by air. But passenger, catering to the poor sections, was it a right step? If you were the district magistrate and supposing this action is taken, what will you do to take care of these people who are otherwise poor and they travel? So there are two parts to the question. Was it a right step? Secondly, if it has been done, what will you do to take care of those people?
Sir, I think it's a very emergency situation for the power sector right now, because many of the states are facing 6-7 hours of power cut in the area nearby. Sir, coming to the move of cancelling the passenger trains, I feel in such emergency situations, government has to take such steps to prioritize the things when we have to, we have resource shortages. That time, resource optimization is our main aim. Sir, for poor section of people who are traveling with the passenger trains, if there is very immediate or urgent situation, the district magistrate or administration can get the buses, as we did during the COVID-19 pandemic, and they can travel with that. I feel, sir, that would be my step.
Okay, all right. Now, you have also given your second preference as Indian Police Service.
Yes.
Now, whenever there is a VVIP visit, to a district, the traffic is stopped and the public is subjected to such great hardships for hours together. Now, if you are the superintendent of police, what will you do to ensure that the hardship is minimized? First of all, is there a justification in stopping the traffic? Secondly, what will you do to minimize the hardship?
Sir, recently, if I could quote a case study, we have seen security breaches of Prime Minister and many other leaders. So, in such cases, when VVIP is arriving to the district, we have to arrange some security situations. However, sir, for if we are blocking the traffic for a prolonged time period, that would not be a good move. We must have a scheduled time of arrival of the VVIPs, and then we can do accordingly to minimize the hardship.
Or take him by by helicopter, rather than stopping the road traffic. Can there be also an alternative?
So there are some areas where aircrafts cannot visit, like some of
the helicopter.
Places. Yes, sir.
Or sometimes if there are 4 lanes, to stop 2 lanes, but open one at least so that people can continue.
Sure, sir. This can be.
All right. Coming to the next thing which I wanted to ask you is that what attracts you to the civil service? That's a very elementary, mundane and common question. Why do you want to come to civil service?
Sir, it was actually my childhood dream. I thought of it in class 8th when I was shifted from a government school to private school, and I saw the change and the difference between the education of both places. And then I asked my teacher, how can we improve upon the government schools? So he told me the district magistrate is responsible for that. And that day I thought of joining the civil service.
So, is the only reason why you want to join
Sir,
civil service?
Sir, it was the prime reason, but growing up, I have seen the diversity which civil services provide, and that attracted me more towards it.
Okay, my final question to you.
Yes.
Can you tell me some Bollywood songs which are based on a few ragas? Take, for example, Pilu Rag. Can you give an example of a Bollywood song based
Sir,
on Pilu Rag?
sorry, sir, I have not learned
You have
Pilu
not
Rag
learned?
actually.
What about any other rag? Bhairav?
Sir, Jago Mohan Pyare is.
Yeah. Okay, correct. Then Kirwani?
Sir, I have not learned this.
Bhairavi?
Yes, sir. Bhairavi. Sir, I remember actually a Thumri from Banaras Gharana. It is like Aya Kare Zara Keh Do Savariya se. It has been filmed in the film.
Okay. What about the timings
Sir,
of these
Bhairav.
4 which I have narrated?
Yes, sir. Sir, Bhairav is the morning rag in the Usha Kalvi.
Bhairav is the morning rag.
Yes,
correct.
Sir. Sir, Bhairavi is considered to be the all-day rag. It has the melody of getting it done or sung in every prayer of the day.
And some others, for example, Pilu?
Sir, Pilu, I have actually learned.
Kirwani?
Sir, I have not learned.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now you have done BTech in electrical and electronics engineering. What is the difference between electrical engineering and electronics? How will you explain this difference to a lay person?
Yes. Sir, electrical engineering mostly pertains to the power system, the electricity work we are doing, and the railway system works upon the electricity completely. However, if I have to differentiate it to a layman person, I would tell the electricity you get is from the electrical engineering part, and the mobile phones and the digital devices which you are using at a miniature level, a miniature circuit level, they are of electronics engineering.
Why is there so much chip shortage these days?
Sir, first reason have been the Russia-Ukraine war. In Ukraine, there are two companies which have the 50% of neon gas which is used in the semiconductor chips. So that has been disrupted. Also, sir, there are import shortages which are like in context of various geopolitical tensions going on. Also, sir,
What is impeding the imports? We can always import from any country.
so there have been supply chain disruptions because of the pandemic as well as the Ukraine war. That's why.
Ukraine war happened only 2 months ago. So the chip shortage is going on, for even longer period.
Yes. Sir, I think I'll recall once.
Okay. Now I want to ask you a question on justice. They say our constitution, gives this, guarantee that justice will be given to every citizen of the country, and justice has to be given at a cheaper rate, at an affordable cost also. But these days, you see, wherever you see, in whichever court, the justice has become very, very costly to get, and a poor man can hardly afford to get proper justice. Yeah? So, what are the reasons, and what can be done?
Sir, first reason is the shortage of lawyers in the NALSA for giving the free legal aid to the poor section of people. So, second would have been the awareness lacking among people, so that they can afford to go to the local courts. And third reason would be the perception that the court problems are delayed so much that they can do it on their own rather than going to the court. So I think this perception also needs to be changed. in the poor sections.
How would you improve the availability of lawyers in NALSA or state legal authority, legal aid authority?
Sir, uh,
Because no advocates want to work there because the fee given to them is very very small.
sir, I think there should be incentive for lawyers to go and work there. However, there are some section of lawyers which definitely work for the right of people and for their justice. They they must be encouraged to come in Nalsa.
Like Prashant Bhushan.
Sir, yes, sir, maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Uh, now, suppose you are a civil servant and you have become a civil servant. What would you need the most? Power or authority? And why?
Sir, there is the concept of power and authority are interrelated. When there is a legitimate power, it becomes authority. So I feel, yes, sir, authority is very important, and through that, power also flows.
Both are important uh, to you according to. And in meditation, which type of meditation do you do?
Sir, I follow Patanjali Yoga Sutra for that because it has a uh, systematic theme of yoga and meditation, like following the 8 limbs of. So I have tried to do the 6 limbs.
You come from which district of Bihar?
The Kamu district of Bihar. Kamu district.
Jammu
Yes.
district.
Yes.
Now, if I ask you, what are the uh, major problems of that district, what would you say?
Sir, employment is one very important thing which I would like to highlight. Sir,
Peculiar to that district, employment is a problem, unemployment is a problem everywhere, all over the country.
sir, crime is an issue, and women's security is also an issue there.
Why is women security an issue? Is there no police setup, or it is weak, or what?
Sir, it is there, and police system has been working very well in that situation. However, there are some areas like it is a hilly terrain, so going into deep into the jungles and ensuring the security to women there has been challenging for the police forces as well.
Now, you are suppose the SP of that district. What would you do?
Sir, the people who are living in the hills, I think I will issue the guidelines for them that after certain period of time, whenever there is danger of crime being committed, they should not step out of the home, and also the appropriate security measures should be taken uh, everywhere, like which are the local crime areas where
If you tell the women not to come out of their homes or not to step out after certain time, that will only increase their fear.
Sir, actually, the security issue is not just of human crime, human committed crime, but there are also animals in those areas which wander after a period of time. So,
Animals would attack both women and men.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are talking of women's security.
Yes, sir. So, for additional security, I think,
Okay.
thank you,
Sakshi, how do you celebrate your birthday?
sir. I celebrate it with my friends, and like we have a Republic Day parade watching in the morning, and then it goes on. The day goes on as normal as,
Republic Day, maybe?
sorry, sir, the Independence Day.
Yeah. Because you were born on Independence Day, I thought you would sing national anthem and celebrate your birthday.
Yes, sir, we do that.
You do that? Wow, that's great.
Thank you, sir.
That's very good. What is the meaning of Vande Mataram?
So it's about worshipping the Mother India.
Mother India. And there is another phrase called Vande Bharat. What does that mean?
Sir, worshipping India, it's related to the train's name as well.
Relating to?
Trains.
Yes, yes, that's very good. Now, we were talking of your hobbies, music and then meditation. I combined the two and asked you that with the background music of vocal classical music in the background, can you meditate?
Sir, I actually meditate in the morning when I sing a song or when I do riyaz of that. And a subject, an object has to be there for meditation. And whatever the subject of my bandish is, I meditate upon that and then I sing.
So, I mean, that singing that way with that object and focus, is there any need to meditate separately? That itself is meditation, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And do you meditate separately also?
Yes,
You do.
yes, right.
There is a need for that.
Sir, sometimes when I'm not in mood of singing or anything, then I meditate upon the Om chanting, and I also do creative visualization of things that I supposed to think about very good things.
Classical vocal is a very hard area of music. It would have required a lot of efforts and training, isn't it?
Yes.
Would you mind singing here?
No, sir.
No?
I can do.
Sir, with your permission? Sure.
Sir, this is the time of Rag Yaman, and I'll sing a rag in Rag Yaman.
And it is vocal.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sa ni re ga ma pa dha ni sa sa ni dha pa ma ga re sa ni re ga re sa pa ma ga re ni re sa.
जागो साक्षी जी जागो बहुत बढ़िया वेरी गुड लेट्स कम डाउन टू मदर अर्थ which like you had this optional subject political science and you took classes for this
Yes, sir, I took classes.
and what does the teacher say about which form of government is the best?
Sir, we were mostly taught about the constitutional values. Any government which is following the constitutional values of democracy, sovereign republic, and secularism, that would be the best government for India.
All these constitutional values, democracy. I mean, every country which is not a democratic country, but has a constitution.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, how would you call these democracy and secularism as constitutional values?
Sir, a democracy is a constitutional value because the preamble itself says we the people.
You are talking purely of in the context of Indian government. No, my question is of a very general nature. Which form of government is the best form?
Sir, liberal democratic government, I would prefer so.
Democratic is not a form of government. It's a broad layout. I mean, within democracy there are varieties of forms of government. Which are these and which one is the best?
Sir, liberal government.
Let's say one form of government is parliamentary form of government. Another is presidential. Another is, where you have a collective kind of executive. So which one you think is the best?
Sir, every system of government has its own merits, and
Which one is the best?
but I feel, sir, parliamentary form of government for
Is the best?
yes, sir.
Isn't that very obstructive form of government, in the sense that the functioning and the agenda of the government and the executive is delayed, endless?
So the very essential feature of parliamentary government is participation of people, and that I feel if it leads to delays sometime, that should not be discouraged.
Okay, okay, Shakti, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Definitely.
Sakshi, you come from Bihar.
Yes,
The general impression is that there is no good governance in Bihar.
yes.
Do you agree with that?
Uh, Sir, there was a perception, but right now the changes are being done in Bihar with the recent government doing a lot of effort in that front.
Okay, two sectors, especially education sector and education and medical health sectors, they are getting neglected, badly neglected. Is it due to budgetary constraints or lack of political will or corruption?
Sir, I read Bihar budget this year, and 20% of allocation in the Bihar budget was for the education sector. 7% allocation was for the health sector. So I feel, sir, there is a revamped effort towards reboosting these sectors, and the government with distribution of cycles to the girls, it is focusing upon the inclusive development of all the sections.
The Prime Minister recently made a statement, public statement, that the judicial proceedings in our country must be conducted in local languages.
Yes,
Do you agree with this?
yes, sir, I do agree.
Then what will happen to the? Will it not have very adverse implications on our national integrity?
Sir, the main function of judiciary is to deliver justice. And when people are able to understand and the judiciary is able to understand them in their own language, then only I feel they will feel empowered and the justice will be delivered.
In one court, you will have to have judges of only that state. At present, we are having, in Karnataka, there are judges drawn from High Court of Calcutta or High Court of Delhi. It is not like this. It will not happen any longer. So judges will also develop vested interest.
Sir, I feel I would draw the inference of all India services here. Uh, People from various states go to various cadres and then they learn the language. So similarly, if I think the All India Bar Council have such initiative, then it would be very beneficial.
Okay, you are talking of All India services. What about All India Judicial Service? Every state is having their own service, and the Constitution envisages that we should have a All India Judicial Service. Even Supreme Court has supported this. Law Commission has supported it. What is blocking this move?
Sir, definitely AIJS is a very much awaited move from the side of judiciary as well as government. However, government came with the National Judicial Act of 2014, and there were some issues which Supreme Court highlighted, which were hampering the judicial independence. I think for the way forward, judiciary as well as government must consult upon that and draw a framework for the AIGS as soon as possible.
You know about doctrine of separation of power?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, how is it that these days the judiciary and the political class, the legislators,
Yes.
are always at loggerheads? Even the executive is at loggerhead with the judiciary. And in that context, I would like to draw your attention to the statement made by the Chief Justice of India a couple of days back that non-performing executives and legislators are a burden on judiciary. Do you agree? Don't you think it is a contempt of parliament?
Sir, I feel it is a fair criticism in some cases because the investigation machinery, which is said to be cooperating with the judiciary in various cases, sometimes it languish, and that's why the judicial delays also happen. That may be the reason why judiciary gave this statement. And sir, coming to the legislature, executive, and judiciary coming at loggerheads with each other, I think the parliamentary system of government is designed in such a manner that the fair criticism or the uh, feedbacks they give to each other, like the three organs of government. Sir, I feel that should be a there should be a self restraint on on side of all these three organs.
Okay, one last question. Since you are a student of PSIR, uh, the global situation, you are aware how grim it is. There is a world opinion is being mobilized that Russia should be termed as an aggressor in the present war, and he must be given the punishment for it, fixing of accountability and all that. Is it possible?
Sir, I think in this context, independent probe needs to be done, first of all, because taking Russia as a aggressor or taking Ukraine as a victim will not be. It is, I think, a global media move that they are terming it as aggressor. I am in the favor of taking independent and investigation about this. Thank you, sir.
Sakshi, have you spent any time in Bhagwa?
Yes, sir.
Just studied there.
Yes, till class 10th.
You would have heard two words, Anumandal and Prakhand. Can you elaborate what does those two words mean?
Sir, in a district, there are subdivisions. These subdivisions are referred to as Anumandal, and then in that also there are divisions that are referred to as Prakhand, the blocks.
Who heads these two different levels of governance, and what are the functions?
So the Anumandal is headed by the subdivision magistrate, and the Prakhand is headed by the circle officer.
What are the functions?
Sir, SDM functions as the executive magistrate, as well as it sees upon the revenue collections and law and order situation in the area. And the circle officer is moreover related to the land revenue systems, and the land related subjects is mainly the function of circle officer.
Do they have any powers or any functions related to panchayats also? Panchayati Raj.
Sir, sir, I'll have to read upon that. But yes, they head the Zilla Parishad.
Who heads the Zilla Parishad?
Sir, I'll have to read upon that.
How many blocks are there in your district?
Sir, there are 8 blocks.
There are 11. So
Sorry.
there's a village called Mokri in your district. What is it famous for?
Sir, I'm not aware of that. I'll read about that.
Camur is also called the rice bowl.
Yes.
Okay, there's some famous rice that is produced in your district. Have you heard about it?
Sir, it is Govind Bhog rice. It has a beautiful aroma, and it is also very sweet in taste. Very small grains it has.
Where it is grown? Where does it come from?
Sir, it comes from the Chainpur area also, and in Mohania it is also grown.
Mokri. Mokri is a place.
Okay.
Why does it have a different taste or different texture compared to other places?
Sir, I'll have to read about that.
Does it have any geographical indication tag?
Sir, I'm not aware of that, but yes, till now I don't think it has one.
Why is it called Govind Bhog?
Sir, I don't know. Sir.
You can do the sandhi of both the things, Govind plus Bhog.
Yes, sir. Govind Bhog, like food offered to the Lord Shri Krishna.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is also being supplied to Ayodhya
Yes.
for
So for Ram Bhog, it's
Ram Rasu.
yes.
As we are on rice, your district is also called the rice bowl. What are the conditions that support this huge cultivation of rice in that area?
Sir, the temperature is good, and also the soil there is supportive.
Or you said it is hilly, so soil cannot support, right?
Sir, there are two areas. One is hilly area and other is plain area. Camur has two divisions, and in plain areas mainly the rice is grown. So the
What is the most important ingredient for cultivation of rice? What do you need the most?
sir, water.
Yes. Where does that water come from?
Sir, it is mainly from the ground water tube wells.
But doesn't Camur has this huge network of zone canals?
Sir, it is limited to the Rohtas district. It has not come to the Camur district till now. So I think that needs to be worked upon. This is going through the groundwater only.
Are the governments making any effort to have any kind of irrigation projects in Camur?
Sir, I'm not aware of that. I'll read about that.
Durgavati?
Yes, sir. Durgavati Dam. Yes, sir. It is being done.
What is the roadblock? Why it is not being completed? What is the present status?
Sir, it is work in progress. I feel, but I'll have to read more about that, sir.
What are the famous tourist spots of your district? How will you market them outside?
Sir, the most important thing is Mamundeshwari Mandir. That is the oldest temple of India. Sir, due to the Camur Hill also has the wildlife sanctuary, and the Adhaura Hills are very famous for the waterfalls. Durgavati Falls is also there. Mahadev Koh is there. Telhar Dam is there. Tutla Bhavani is also in the nearby Sasaram area. So these all needs to be tapped upon, sir.
Mainly religious tourism one can.
Yes, sir. Religious as well as ecotourism.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Sakshi, we'll take you back to the waiting room for a while. We'll call you back again for a
Okay,
feedback. Okay.
Thank
So
you,
can
sir.
wait there.
Thank
for
you,
a
sir.
while.
Thank you, sir. May I come in?
Come, Sakshi. Have a seat, Sakshi.
Thank you, sir.
So Sakshi, first of all, when is your interview fixed?
Sir, 18th of May.
So you have a lot of time to
Yes,
prepare
sir.
also. Okay. Is it the first time you are going to take the CSE interview?
Sir, it's second time.
Okay. What was the percentage of marks, or how many marks did you obtain?
Sir, 168.
168. Okay. So now tell me, how do you think you performed at this mock interview?
Sir, I think I need to prioritize my sentences, what I speak first, and some of the things that I lacked knowledge about my district and specific to the Govind Bhog. Sir, I feel in parliamentary government and president government question, that was not actually clicking in my mind, the types of government. So these things I need to work upon. I need to work upon my presence of mind, I feel.
Okay. So Sakshi, first of all, let me say that you are very good.
Okay.
And you certainly stand a chance of getting much higher percentage of marks in your interview this time.
Okay, sir.
But then there is no reason for complacency. Even though you have got about 16 days at your disposal,
Yes.
devote wholeheartedly in getting more and more knowledge.
Yes.
Your communication skills are absolutely fine. There is nothing wrong with that.
Okay, sir.
Your choice of words, your structuring of sentences, your demeanor, your presentation, everything is fine. Eye contact you are having with the member who is asking the question, but an occasional scanning of the entire board would do you a lot of good. Okay. Just a scan from left to right, right to left. Okay. And then as articulation skills, you are very good in articulation skills. There were no pauses, so you were able to come out in a very coherent and continuous manner. So that again is your strength. Your voice is neither too loud nor too low. It was very good, and I don't think there is need for any change in that.
Okay, sir.
Coming to now some other aspects about the knowledge. Your attitude, first of all, is quite positive, and it's very good.
Okay.
Your presentation, your attitude, your demeanor, your body language, everything is fine. Okay. Now, just a few things which I am going to say, you are already aware about them, but I will repeat it for the sake of, well, for the sake of recapitulation.
Yes.
One thing is that whenever you are asked a question, first of all, you must let it remain there in your mind for a few seconds.
Yes, sir.
And then gather your thoughts and then come out with the answer. That will give you time to prepare.
Yes, sir.
And you will be able to decipher which is the most important part of that answer. So that prioritizing your answer would be very much relevant. So that if you give the most important part of the answer, then the panelist need not listen to the other part. He will take you to another question.
Yes.
You have only 20 minutes at your disposal. So therefore, you should utilize that time to the best possible manner.
Yes.
So try to prioritize. Okay. Number 2, always give examples.
Okay.
Whenever you give an answer, support it with good examples. Okay. For example, if you are talked about accountability, or you have talked about consensus building, or you talk about transparency, give an example. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So example is going to support your answer, and it will be very impressive. All right.
Okay, sir.
Now, whenever there is a tricky question, which can go either way, always try to give both the sides, pros and cons.
Yes.
The most important thing you have to remember is that the civil servant is expected to be rational. He or she is expected to be secular and also ethical.
Yes.
So if there is a question regarding a hypothetical situation in which you are in, always remain ethical. Okay. Whatever is the right thing you will do. You will not be swayed by any sentiments.
Okay.
Whatever is right by law, always stick to that. So therefore, you should give both the sides, and if they persist on asking your view, then remain on the official side, whatever is the law prescribes. Read the constitution article by article.
Okay, sir.
Bare constitution. You don't have to read the commentary. It will take a long time. But the article itself is going to present you every bit of information regarding polity, role of president, vice president, prime minister, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, directive principles, state policy, and not the least, preamble. Okay.
Yes.
So read all the articles. Read criminal procedure code insofar as it relates to magistracy, the executive magistracy.
Okay.
So article the section 144, section 145, 129, 133, 107. So there are many sections which are related to that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
If possible, go through the IPC also. Questions like sedition law and all those things, which are the things of the times. So they are there, and the law relating to the homosexuality, and which are the new things emerging in laws. So you go through that.
Okay, sir.
Now coming to the role of the collector. So district administration, you belong to a district in Bihar, and you must know how the district administration works. So role of collector, insofar as 5 major functions are concerned. The 5 major functions would be revenue administration. So what is the hierarchy? What is the purpose? What is the function of collector and the officers down below? So updation of land records, preparation of land records, mutation, solving the disputes between two agriculturists, and so on. And who are the functionaries? So from Patwari, Kanungo, Nab Tahsildar, Tahsildar, SDM, and so on.
Okay, sir.
One. Second, understand the relevant provisions where he acts as an executive magistrate. That will be given in the criminal procedure code.
Okay, sir.
Third is elections. What is the role of collector in elections? Fourth is disaster management. And fifth is coordination between various departments. Agriculture, power, irrigation. So role of collector.
Okay.
The role of the Panchayati Raj institutions. So Panchayat, who are the official actors in Panchayati Raj institutions? So at the village level, it is the Gram Sachiv, the official actor. Unofficial, non-official actor will be Sarpanch. At the block level, it will be BDPO, official actor. Unofficial actor would be the chairman of the Panchayat Samiti. At the Zilla Parishad, it is the chairman Zilla Parishad, non-official actor, and official actor would be a CEO of Zilla Parishad. Some states, probably collectors are also the chairperson. So this is the thing. And urban local bodies. What are the sources of revenue? The revenue sources are not only limited to the property tax, but the water is there. Some places it is electricity is also there. Then drainage system, the sewer charges. Somewhere used to be octroi. Most of the time places octroi has been abolished. But so major functions, there are so many functions and sources of revenue. You must know. And garbage collection, advertisements now, advertisement, garbage collection, and so on. So these are the major sources. Okay. And then the entire paraphernalia. So why they are in a financial mess? Because the kind of the on the expenditure side, the salaries, etc., the DA has risen, and all those defaulters, people don't pay the property tax, they don't pay those things, and the grants from the government are not many. So that is why they are not so financially viable. Coming to some other things, like for example the rice, the paddy belt of
Yes,
this,
sir.
you must know about your district. So your district and your state, you have to have excellent knowledge about that. So Bihar, from where it has derived its name, what is the cultural heritage, the universities, why it is known world over, then the major crops, and what are the cropping patterns, then the source of irrigation, source of power, then the status of women, the law and order situation, and also things connected with infrastructure, the tourism, the strategic location of Bihar, and also your own district. Typical problems of your district. So you mentioned unemployment. Unemployment is far pervading all over the country.
Yes.
You must typically talk about the local problems, which are normally asked, when there is election to the local body, or there is an election in a panchayat or panchayat samiti. They are the local problems. So you must be able to highlight those problems. Read the gazetteer of your district, and also the state, some good book on your state. GI tag has been there regarding one of the rice. Then irrigation projects, the prominent people, the former chief ministers, how the Nitish Kumar is different from other chief ministers, what are the schemes which it has launched for the empowerment of women, for provision of cycle, and all those, many things have been done. So you must know everything about your state. Now coming to the political science and international relations, yes, as I said, read the constitution.
Yes.
And also understand the different forms of government which are there, so presidential and parliamentary democracy and so on. Then you must also concentrate on your hobby side. So classical singing is it's a very it's a deep lot of information can be asked on that.
Yes.
So just like I was asking you certain questions, the ragas, the times of the ragas, the main pakad of the ragas, okay.
Yes,
Then some of the films which the songs which are based on these ragas, okay. So that you should all prepare on that.
yes.
Then also meditation. So meditation question was asked on meditation also. And then I would also like you to the question was asked regarding the problems in your district. So you said that the problem relating to women, but the answer to that could have been far better. You said
Yes,
that
sir.
as SP I would ask them to remain indoors. Well, that is not, it's a very defensive kind of a
Yes, sir.
apologetic kind of a solution. Your job as superintendent of police is to provide protection to the life and make them totally free of fear, and that will be done only from proper policing, taking care of the antisocial elements. Wherever they are taking exemplary punishment is meted out, formally pursuing those cases in the courts. So these are the measures you will take, and not ask them to remain in or wear a particular types of clothes. That is not really what is required.
May I contribute?
Sure.
On the same, when you speak about problems in your district, if security of female is the least problem that Kaimur faces, It's a border state right now because of the prohibition. There's massive smuggling of liquor from Jharkhand also, from UP also. Since times immemorial, Bhabua has been the center of all this mafia, coal mafia, and the entry mafia on the roads. Okay, highway robberies,
Yes.
perhaps the most prevalent form of crime in your area. The Naxal problem that right now it is not so much there, but in the Kamur Hills, in Adhora block, everywhere it was the most Naxal infested area.
Yes.
Then it is also, as you said, a national park also, the poaching of the animals, these things.
Yes.
So these are the, and plus all the other sectarian violence that happens there, in name of communalism also and caste,
Yes.
these things also. So these are, and plus obviously women's security. You said women's security is not an issue only in the hills. Okay, it is everywhere, but that is to do more with the most of the cases of women's security there are related to, say, dowry deaths. Okay, the molestation or rape, certain of these kind of cases. So you have to like know the ground realities of your place, because when you said that women's security, that was like really far fetched from what actually the problems that anyone, the police as a SP of the district, you will face over there, and you have to like know the ways how would you go about these things.
So
Thank
I
you,
would strongly suggest that you pay a visit to, if possible, to any officer in police and the collectorate. Have a first-hand knowledge about the problems which are there,
Okay,
like the
sir.
problem which was mentioned, like Naxalism and highway robberies and rapes and heinous crimes against women, rather than so much concentration on the security of the women. And then since you have taken electrical and electronics engineering, so you will have to prepare quite well on that also.
Yes.
So what exactly, how a mobile phone functions and how is it different from a normal landline telephone, and the power shortage and the reason for coal shortage, what are the reasons, these things. Chip shortage was another function, another problem there, and that is why the things are becoming more and more costlier. Waiting period has also increased. The cars which used to get in 1 month, now we are waiting period is almost 6 to 7 months. And so these are, and electronic goods, etc. So that is a problem which is there. Then of course I asked you the question about civil service. Now you said that I was enamored of that when I was in the school, and I was impressed by the fact that he said that the collector can improve the condition of the schools. Well, that is not a core job of the collector. But the reason you have to advance for coming to the civil service, or what attracts to the civil service, is slightly different.
Okay.
This is only one of the very, very peripheral, jobs of the collector. But the main reason why you want to come to the civil service is that it gives you an opportunity to be a part of the public policy making process. That is problem identification, finding their solutions, policy formulation, policy legitimization, policy implementation, and policy evaluation. That is one reason. Second is, it gives you a lot of opportunities to occupy leadership positions at a very young age. The third is, it gives you an opportunity to have a huge amount of experience. So the canvas is very big in civil service. The fourth is, it gives rise to a lot of creativity, scope for creativity and innovation. So these are the answer which you will, the big picture, the functions of the civil service, rather than only saying that I was impressed by the fact that the condition of the schools can be improved upon. That is only one of the coordinating function. You have a line department completely looking after the education.
Yes.
So there is a secretary education, director public instruction, and so on. So this is how you will explain that. Do you have any questions to ask?
Not really, sir. Not now. But I have a very detailed feedback. I think that would work out, sir.
So you are very good, Sakshi. One last thing, they may ask you, which is that Bollywood actress who is also named after you. So that I'm sure you are
Sakshi Tanwar.
Sakshi Tamar. And which is the latest web series which is coming in her, where she is acting? What is the name of that? It is called My. Yeah.
Yes.
So apart from the fact that you were born on 15th of August, that also adds, a lot of interesting things regarding your death.
Yes, sir. I really so I'm
So Sakshi, you are very good. You will do extremely well.
okay.
Just go back and concentrate on the areas, improve your knowledge, and believe me, you are going to perform exceedingly well. Take it as a challenge that you
Yes.
will. This time you are going to make it to the service to which you are seeking.
Okay.
All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.